Well, hey everybody, John Ritlin here, and this is Which Was Worse, Episode 9. And today I'm going to talk about Money in the Bank cash-ins. Failed ones specifically. I'm not going to talk about every failed Money in the Bank cash-in, because there haven't been that many, but I'm going to talk about two that took place 5 years apart, essentially. And it's going to be Damien Sandow's failed cash-in in 2013, and Braun Strowman's failed cash-in in 2018. And the reason I'm going to focus on those specifically, I could focus on Cena's, but Cena's didn't really matter. It led to some good business anyway, and he didn't really need to win the briefcase anyway. Corbin, I don't think anybody really believed that Corbin was going to become WWE champion, even though at the time I was pretty happy that he, that he won it, because I was like, yeah, okay, cool, maybe they'll do something with him, and then they do shit with him, and he lost to Jinder. Oh dear. And don't worry, I'm going to cover Jinder in one of these episodes sometime later. But with this, I'm taking a look because they're also very similar, like, with how they were done, how they won, but also the fallout, like the fallout after the failed cash-in. And that's kind of what I do with these Which Was Worse videos. I try to analyze aspects and figure out that maybe it's not necessarily all the worst thing, but where something went wrong. So let's take a look at Sandow. He was the intellectual savior of the masses. He was pretty over. They had something weird going. They had him and Cody as Rhodes Scholars. That was pretty cool. But then at Money in the Bank 2013, Sandow won the World Heavyweight title, opportunity, that briefcase for SmackDown, when he was able to defend. Well, actually, it was just a World Heavyweight title, option, because at the time they had basically done away with the brand split after like 2011. But Damien Sandow had won that opportunity. He'd screwed over Cody. They'd had a bit of a feud. It seemed like Sandow might be on the ascent to do some things. Cody got written off of TV because him and his wife Brandy. Well, I mean Eden. She was known as Eden, but him and his wife Brandy, super happy together. By the way, they're such a great couple. If you don't follow them on social media, I strongly recommend it. They seem like very good people, and best of luck with them with AEW, honestly, and everybody involved. But with Sandow, he had the briefcase and everything. It seemed like things were actually going pretty well. Yes, he had a bit of a losing streak, but he hadn't lost a briefcase. That was like to make the cash-in more shocking. And then what happens is, he beats up John Cena after after Cena came back after being gone for a little bit. He had, had elbow surgery, or had some kind of muscle tear, got taken care of. And then he beat Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight title. The next night, Sandow shows up, attacks Cena after a little promo, beats him up with the briefcase, hits him on the elbow, hits him repeatedly, beats him up before the match starts, and then Sandow loses. When they could have given Sandow even a 3-week reign, they could have given Sandow a run till like Survivor Series, and he would have lost it, and then he would have lost the title. At least he would have gotten something out of it. But no, they didn't fucking do that. They had Cena go Super Cena. They booked him like that and had him beat Sandow, and that basically destroyed Sandow. And don't tell me it fucking didn't. It fucking ruined Sandow. And whether that guy could have been a long-term world champion or not, probably mid-card champion, even if he had won the world title, lost it after a few weeks, and won a mid-card title sometime afterwards, Intercontinental, US, whatever, it could have worked. But it didn't. It didn't fucking work, and it fucking ruined him. And sure, okay. Guy's pretty much out of the business now. Like, I don't think Sandow's really done much of anything since he was Aaron Rex and Impact for 6 months. I don't think he was there for very long. 6 months, maybe 8 months. He pretty much hasn't done anything since. But before we, dive more into Sandow, let's take a look at the similarities of Braun. Braun had been booked like a goddamn idiot, before that. The Royal Rumble, okay, he had that, I think it was a triple threat it was him, Kane, and Brock for the Universal title. That didn't go anywhere. And then Braun teamed with a 10-year-old to win the tag titles at Mania 34. No, really. Nothing against the kid, but that was fucking stupid. And then, they had him in a feud with Kevin Owens, and it kind of went nowhere. And Braun was actually starting to look like the bully because he was beating up Owens a lot. And then Braun wins Money in the Bank and becomes the Monster in the Bank, and has that. And then he has it for a little bit, puts his briefcase on the line against Kevin Owens, and beats Kevin Owens at SummerSlam like really, really quickly. And then instead of Braun saying, to Roman lording over him and everything because they had him tease the cash in the main event, Brock versus Roman. That was only to keep people tuned in because people were just going to leave in revolt. Roman beats Brock. Okay, cool. Wins the Universal title. Braun can cash in and Braun can do this and everything. No, because they laid out Braun before the match or, during the match, like I believe Brock did, and even threw the briefcase up on the stage, showing how insanely strong Brock is. Even if the guy's a fucking idiot, he is still, and lazy, he is still one hell of an athlete. Got to give him that much credit. So we then have Braun still with the briefcase, but to get his shot, he hands it to Baron Corbin, and that's his shot and his way to get a shot at Roman catching his Money in the Bank briefcase at Hell in a Cell the next month. And the match ends in a goddamn no contest because Brock comes out during a Hell in a Cell match where Roman and Braun essentially took a nap during it while, Dolph and Drew, remember them being a thing, Drew and Dolph, McIntyre and Ziggler in case you guys are confused. And Rollins and Ambrose were all fighting. And after having a great match, the best match on the Hell in a Cell card, not Becky and Charlotte, they're fighting around the ring, and then they fight suddenly on, the roof of the cell, that kind of stuff. Having their own match in a match while Braun and Roman are taking a freaking powder and everything, all fucking tired. And look, I imagine it's a tiring match. And unfortunately, Roman did find out soon after that he was not feeling all that well and why he wasn't feeling that well. And thankfully, he has recovered from his leukemia. But taken in this vacuum of like a Money in the Bank cash-in, Brock then comes down. Oh, he ripped the door off its hinges. Oh, goddamn, look at all that beef, pal. Terrible Vince impression. I'm sorry. But anyway, Brock runs in there, hits like an F5 each. Hits people, hits them with a couple weapons. It was just so bad. It's like, I honestly have, I tuned out most of that, but I remember that ending being so shitty. And a Hell in a Cell match, which is supposed to end all feuds, ends in a no contest. And that's Braun's Money in the Bank cash-in. He didn't get his briefcase back to cash in later. No. He didn't get his briefcase back, or a chance to win his briefcase back or something. No. They just fucking did. I thought they were going to have Corbin, since he was Raw GM or Constable Corbin or whatever, come out and cash in on Roman or something. They didn't do that. Thank God they didn't do that. But Braun essentially looked like a goddamn goof. Now go back to Sandow. Sandow was pretty much made to look like a joke after that whole thing with Cena, pushed further down the card. He then became, he was doing the impression stuff and everything, even being Magneto and being a whole bunch of stuff and whatever, and being Vince McMahon and doing some pretty good impressions and some awful ones. I mean, the guy actually is a pretty good impression artist. And then becomes some Mrs. Stunt Double, and it's supposed to be comedy and everything. No, he got himself over again by impersonating Miz's antics and doing all this and doing some great stuff. And then, because he got himself over, he could have won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at Mania 31. Nope, he did that. He got eliminated. They made him Macho Mandow, and they had Curtis Axel impersonating Hogan. They became the Mega Powers .25. And I'm sorry, I like those guys, but that was stupid. You can't try to recreate shit like that. And it just made Sandow just horribly, inept. It just made him seem ridiculous, and he was pushed further down the card, and finally left the company. His Money in the Bank cash-in was a fucking failure and a half. It was. Because then you look at what happened with Braun afterwards, and Braun is a little more recent, because Sandow was able to get himself back over. Braun, hate to say it, Braun has not been the same since. They already kind of crippled Braun anyway with, the Royal Rumble 2018 match that he had, and then winning the titles with a kid. But okay, maybe he has a chance, to cash in Money in the Bank and everything, and they didn't do that, and then they didn't continue any momentum, and he was still teaming with Dolph and Drew, and nobody cared. Then he got laid out, and then he feuded with Corbin, and nobody cared about any of this stuff. And then he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at, Mania 35. How bad is that? I already forgot about something that just happened this month. That's really fucking sad. As far as which one was worse, I think Braun's did more damage. Sandow got himself back over, and Braun is still over to a degree. But Braun's was a big-time failure because they had already done damage to his career before, and damage to his run and everything. you still had something going a little bit with Sandow, and he got himself back over as Miz's stunt double, Mizdow, and they cut the legs out from under him there. They're both kind of equal if you really want to, take in all the factors. But I got to say that Braun actually was the one that was worse, because at least Sandow lost a match. Now, he shouldn't have lost that match. He should have won that match, but at least he lost his match. With a Hell in a Cell match, that cash in, that was a freaking, no contest in a Hell in a Cell match. Who the fuck books this shit? Vince wrote himself into a goddamn corner and was like, well, we'll just have Brock run out there, rip out the door, all that beef. And he'll do that. And that's all that he really did. And again, terrible Vince impression. I apologize, but this was stupid. It was a terrible use of both of them. And it made Sandow seem ridiculous when he couldn't win over a beaten down Cena when they had just come back from surgery recently. And then Braun couldn't beat Roman Reigns. Brock laid him out or whatever. It's like it ended in no contest. It made Braun seem weak, and I love Braun. And I hope Sandow can have success with whatever he does. I don't know if he's still wrestling anymore. But hopefully I'm wrong, but they pretty much ruined Braun. And you can't tell me they haven't. And it's really goddamn sad. Now, whether Braun would have been an effective Universal Champion or not is anybody's guess. He probably would have only been champion for, a couple months? But for fuck's sake, he would have been better than Brock. I'm sorry, he would have been better than Brock. He should have just given it to Braun at Crown Jewel, and then you could have had, Braun hold it and maybe lose it to Drew or something. The whole point is you could have gone somewhere else with it, and they didn't fucking go anywhere with it. And these two cash-ins are the worst cash-ins. Bar none. The worst, easily the worst failed cash-in, but I'd say the worst cash-ins, period. Because it just made both seem ridiculous. So anyway, that's what I have to say. So yeah, a little bit fired up. Tried to tamp it down just a little bit. I hope I'm wrong about Braun. I hope he can come back. But I just worry that they pretty much done too much damage to him. And both these cash-ins were pretty fucking bad. Anyway, agreed, disagreed, what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I will see you soon.